All right, we're live. Awesome, cool. So I'm live here. I'm streaming on a couple different platforms. This is new for me. So welcome. Welcome to my kitchen. All right, so my name is Rachel Detroit. I am a life coach. Hi, Luann. Thanks for being here. All right, I've never come up on Instagram before live, so this is cool. I'll be doing my cooking demo. So this, basically the objective of what I'm doing here is I want to go through how to cook your own beans, soak and cook your own beans. This is all the stuff that us millennials, we just have no idea what to do. Just kidding, but maybe. So these are the things we're going to cover today. How to soak your own beans, how to cook your own beans, and then I'm going to go through my mom's recipe for hummus. Then I'm going to go through my recipe for make your own pinto beans. So these are things often we buy at the store, but you could make it yourself, know what's going inside, and actually make 10 times more than the amount you would buy at the store. Because who just wants one little thing of hummus? We want more. All right. So welcome. Like I said, I'm kind of nervous a little bit. I never have done this live on Instagram. My name is Rachel, and I am a life coach. I was a math teacher for 8 years. Now this is what I do. Kind of cool. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do is make the hummus, because that's what the coolest part is, right? So this is what I did. I soaked the beans overnight. So I did 1 cup of dry beans. So I soaked those overnight. And then what I did is I cooked them the following day. So when I soak them, I cover them with about 1 inch of water. And actually, I should have done this so that I could show it to you. Okay, this is the first time I have done this. Okay, so I want to do black beans. Welcome to my life. We are real. Okay, so I may as well just show you this part for the soaking so that you know. So what you do, buy whatever kind of beans you like. So if you want to make hummus, you're going to do chickpeas, right? So your garbanzo beans, if you will, depends on, whatever your flavor is. Over here, I already did this process with pinto beans. That's what we're going to use for what's it called? The pinto beans, the spreadable pinto beans, refried beans. That's what they're called. So that's what that is. Here's garbanzo beans. I'm going to soak and do black beans because I already have a lot of other beans, and I'm the one who's going to have to eat these. So what I usually do is a cup of beans. I wasn't prepared for this part, I guess, but we're just going to do it and go with it. All right, so we're going to do a cup of beans. Which makes about a can. No, it makes 2 cans. It makes 2 cans. Not just 1 can. So it makes about 1.5 cups. 1.5 cups is usually 2 cans. I'm so wrong. 3 cups. I was a math teacher for 8 years. 3 cups makes, see, they don't teach you this in home ec. So do one cup of dry beans. Let me get this straight with you guys. Do 1 cup of dry beans. And what it's going to make for you is 2 cans worth of canned beans, right? So when you soak it overnight and then you cook it, it will increase and give you 2 cans worth. All right. So anyways, I have 1 cup of black beans in here, and I covered it about over 1 inch. There might be a more proper way of doing this, but this is how I do it. So I cover it about 1 inch. And then I leave it in the fridge overnight. That's what I do with this. And cover it. Covering it would be good. I don't have a lid for this. You could cover it. I actually don't ever cover it. I actually don't know if you should cover it. I'll just be real with you. I don't ever cover it. Okay, so that's setting. So that's how you soak your beans. So I soaked the beans and then I cooked these beans. So when they're soaked overnight, you could also get away with not soaking them and then just cooking the crap out of them. Then you cook them. This part's boring, but you got to know this stuff. You bring them to a boil, and then you're going to bring it to a simmer and let it cook for about 40 minutes, right? So if you want to cook your own beans, which is cheaper, and then you don't have all these chemicals in the cans for like all the salts and blah, blah, whatever they put in there. You soak a cup of beans, 1 cup, it'll make do with 2 cans. Soak them, cover them with 1 inch of water overnight, and then the following day, put them on your stove, bring them to a boil, let it simmer, right? After it hits that boil, let it simmer for about 35 to 40 minutes, but be careful. You don't want all the water to evaporate because then it'll just burn. Your beans will just burn to the bottom. All right, so then we'll get into the fun here in just a sec. That's the teaching part. Okay. Lucy B says hi on YouTube. Hi, Lucy B. All right, so now we're going to make hummus. That was the teaching part. Now let's do this. Okay, so what I have here is I did 1 cup of chickpeas. So this ended up being 2 cans worth. I'm going to put it in my food processor. And I cooked these. The longer you cook them, like if that skin is peeling off, if it's just falling off, it will make it more creamy, right? So if you want to make your hummus and have it be really creamy, which I think people enjoy, cook these beans like crazy, let the skin peel off. And if you even want to elevate it, if you want to elevate your hummus a little bit more, you could pull, I mean, I'm not that extra, my skins are all on here, but you could peel the skins off and it makes it even creamier. I'm not gonna do that. Some people do that if you want creamier and less bite in it. All right, so I have I did soaked 1 cup and then I cooked it. So it ended up making about 2 cans worth in here. That's what I have here. You could also just buy 2 cans, put them in here. All right, and then I have the juice of lemon. I've already squeezed them. Other ingredients I have are salt, tahini, and garlic. And then this stuff over here is for the pinto beans. All right, so I'm gonna put my garlic in here. I'm gonna do 2 cloves. Today when I was peeling my garlic, a lot of my garlic was growing. And I was like, oh my gosh, your garlic's growing. And then I actually was happy. I was like, my garlic is so fresh and awesome that it's growing. So I thought of it like that, just kind of changing your perspective. All right, so I put 2 cloves of garlic in there. I'm urged to put 3, so I'm just gonna do it. And then I have about 2 tablespoons of tahini. So this is what my mom has showed me to make it. Her hummus tastes so good. And she always puts the tahini and the garlic and the lemon in a special order. And I just never remember what it is. So mine's just going to all go in. So I got tahini, 2 tablespoons. I'm going to put about the juice of 2 lemons in there. I have salt. Yeah, like she does it all separate. I have no idea. Let's see. This is quarter teaspoon plus another quarter teaspoon, which is like a little under a half. All right, and then I'm gonna zip this on the food processor. Just wanna make sure I didn't forget anything. I think that's it. Shout out to Christina who let me borrow her food processor because mine's not here. All right, so I got that. I practiced how to do it before so that I could just do it quickly. Okay, we did it. Did we do it? I totally practiced this. We can't get to the next step until we get through this step. It's a 13 cup food processor. Okay. No, because this is wrong, Rachel. No, Rachel, you're wrong. Okay. You got it. Good work, Rach. Problem solving. Okay. So now, here it goes. Okay, so since this food processor is so big, my beans are just hanging out on the bottom there by themselves. Alright, let's check this out. There's another attachment to make it higher. I might have dropped the ball, team, but that's okay. We're going to make it work. So I'm going to give it a mix. My mom told me, she was like, Rachel, just use your blender. That's a better idea. And I was like, no. You're my mom. I don't want your ideas. All right, so we'll see what goes on round 2. Just blending, and then I'll scrape around the edges. And that's the thing, too, with, like, cooking. It's all about just, like, trying different things. It's so fun just to play around and try different things in the kitchen. And in school, right, so, I mean, they haven't taught home ec, like, ever since I've been alive, so I don't know. But maybe they have, but I've been a teacher for a long time, and rarely have I seen home ec. All right, I'm going to keep mixing this down. So if the food processor, if I did a better job at using the right thing, I don't know, it would be more efficient, but it's not because I didn't, so this is where we're at. Let's see. All right, so I'm just going to keep mixing it. But, you know, since I've ever been in school, since I've ever been alive, like, home ec is not a thing, right? Like, you hear talk about it. And I was a teacher for 8 years. In my 9th year, in and out of the schools, you know, that's me, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I'm like, I'm not sure if I like this. Let me just try it a couple more times. But sometimes you just got to take the leap. But, you know, all my years in the schools, this smells so good. Never have I ever seen home ec. Yeah, drop it in the chat if you've ever taken home ec. So like making your own beans, like it's so easy to do. You would never think, like no one's ever done that in school because they just had to teach you about trigonometry. Nobody really cares about that. As a math teacher, I know that. Nobody really cares about all of that. Alright, this is not ideal because the food processor is so big, but that's my fault for not putting that other attachment. Because it's not going to be creamy. I'm such a baby. That's what you get for not practicing it on this food processor. So I just moved out here from living in Detroit for the past 5 years, and now I'm living in Ypsilanti. And all of my stuff is at my mom's. So all my stuff is at my mom's, so my food processor is also at my mom's. And so what I had to do was either drive out to my mom's and get it, which I could have about an hour and some change, or my friend offered her their food processor for me to borrow, and it's just like the biggest one ever, and it's super nice, but I didn't make enough beans for how big it is. So I'm just gonna keep whisping it. So basically, my whole life, my mom has always made hummus. And when I was like growing up, they always loved the hummus. They would always, my mom would always bring it to parties, and I was just kind of sick of it. I'm like, oh, it's everywhere. It doesn't go away, and everybody loves it. So it's a super easy thing to make at home, right? So all you need is, just gonna keep mixing this until I have something to show for myself. But what you need, okay, we're getting somewhere, good. So what you need is about 2 cans. You could use cans or you could use fresh, right? So in the beginning of this, I showed how to soak your own beans. So you soak them overnight, cover them with, you could just Google this too. Cover them with 1 inch of water at least. Pop them in your fridge, soak them overnight. On one of my streams, I bet you can't see me, and I'm right. So you're just like watching nothing. So anyways, back to what I was saying. I'm all over the place. Hummus, it has always been like it's something that I always knew. And was always so normal to me, like regular. But people, like, this is something that you can buy in the store for like $8 or $12. $8 or $12 for like a decent sized container. So learn how to make your own, and plus there's no weird oils or chemicals. Alright, so we're getting there. And a trick too that my mom always does is adds an ice cube in hers. Mine's not super creamy. Drop the ball with not putting the attachment, but I'm gonna eat it anyways. So you can add more lemon, you could add a little bit of water, but what my mom always does, when her beans are hot, she will add an ice cube in her hummus to make the color a bit lighter. I think it also makes it creamier. That's just my opinion. All right, so I threw that in there. Just gonna let that roll. So drop it in the chat if you ever made your own hummus. Let's see. Will you be posting the recipe? Yeah, I'll post the recipe. If you don't follow the Facebook page, check it out. I took home ec in middle school or in high school. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's cool. I don't know that it was offered when I went to school, and it's never been offered when I've taught, but maybe I just have taught in places that don't offer that. Like urban schools, maybe, I don't know if that's a thing. All right, so the color of my hummus is very light, very white. I'm gonna add a little more liquid. I'm gonna taste it and add some more liquid. So it's just like you can keep playing with it. I'm gonna add more lemon to it. Yum. I've been kind of bad at my fasting schedule, and when I say kind of bad, it means I haven't been doing it at all. I was really good at fasting, and though I'm on my cycle, I just want to eat everything. Like all I want to do is curl up in my bed and eat everything chocolate. I actually just wish that I could become chocolate while I'm laying in bed. Alright, I'm going to turn this up. We got some stuff going on in the chat. I use a Vitamix mix to make hummus. That makes sense. We can't see your processor. There it goes. My mom told me, she was like, Rachel, just use your blender. Just use your Vitamix. It's good. You know how to use it. And I was like, no, you can't make hummus in a blender, Mom. I always know what's right. I always know what's right. But I probably could have just made it. Okay, cool. So this is coming together. It's not super creamy, but we're gonna get there. Oh, but it tastes so good. So good. You could add a little bit of cumin in there. You could add jalapeno in there. I'm so inappropriate by licking all this. Okay. So that's the hummus. I'm going to blend it up a little bit more, and then I'll put it in a container and show it to you guys. And I don't know if I'm going on for too long here. We're on for 20 minutes. This might be boring, but I'm also going to throw on the pinto beans. Let's do it. Pinto beans is pretty easy. So I have pinto beans right here that's going over there in the cooked pinto beans. So I'm making my own refried beans. They're cooked. They're overly cooked. I'm going to throw in some diced red onions that I had left over. I have an array of spices: cumin, chili powder, smoked paprika, onion powder, pepper. That's going on right here. And then I have salsa. I'm going to throw in some salsa. And then I have a clove of garlic, and that's going to be my homemade pinto. Alright, this hummus is done. And overall, it doesn't take this long. but this, it just did, and it's totally good. Yum. So you can totally make your own hummus at home. You don't have to buy it. You could, it's just chickpeas, garlic, oops, tahini. And I'm lucky because, like, this is what my mom taught me how to do at home. I didn't get taught everything, but I got taught this. It's not a jab at you, Mom. She watches. She's a G. She is a homie. Okay. I'm just in my feelings, and I'm tired, but I'm excited to be here. All right, so here we go. I'm like feisty, I think. Not tired. Feisty. I'm just ready to rock. Okay. So I just made a huge thing of homemade hummus. Maybe you just buy it, and maybe that's what you like to do. But I like to make everything at home. Tastes super good. I'm just gonna try it again to prove it, and then we're gonna jump into pinto beans. You totally could just buy your own, and that's really up to you. But that's just not how I roll. I really enjoy making my own food and using my own ingredients. All right, we're just gonna put these pinto beans right over where the hummus was, because it doesn't matter. It's gonna be so good. So here I did 1 cup of pinto beans that are cooked. So I soaked 1 cup, and then I cooked it, so it ends up being about 2 cans worth. This is about 4 tablespoons, about a 1/4 cup of salsa. This is super spicy. Pick your poison. And then in here, smoked paprika, cumin, chili powder, onion powder, pepper. Going in. Red onion. Going in. Throw in some garlic. These are 2 little cloves that are basically growing. Going in. Let's see, where's my salt? It's over here, because I was responsible and put it in a container. And the salsa might be enough. Let's wait on the salt. Let's see what happens. Right? We don't want to jump the gun. All right. So we got this roaring. And then throw it on the food processor. You could put lime in there. I was going to put lime in here. I went to Aldi to grab the ingredients before I got started. And I was just not feeling their limes. And let alone that, like, if it was just 1 and I wasn't feeling it, I would get over it. But it was you had to commit to a whole thing. And I just didn't want to make that commitment. Buy just like a whole thing of yucky limes. I'll buy one yucky lime for a recipe, but not the whole thing. All right, here we go. Food processing. So the ice cube makes it creamy. Yeah, Tiffany, the ice cube in the hummus, it makes it whiter. It makes it, like the color becomes lighter, and it makes it more creamy. That's a trick my mom's been doing. All right, these pinto beans went real quick. Sorry for the technical difficulties the first time. All right, ooh. And this has almost done. I'm gonna mix it all in there. These are awesome looking. Let's see. I'm gonna blend it more. Let's give it a taste. So good. Like, literally don't buy pinto beans in a can anymore. Don't do it. Don't do it. Especially, like, I mean, everybody's, wants to save money. This is a way to save money. Everybody wants to eat better. is the way to eat better. Oops. You literally, and if you don't want to soak your own beans, like if you're not like that, some people care, some people don't. I do. I want to soak my own beans, but I can't always. But if you don't, you literally can just do this with a can of pinto beans. Put the spices in, put it in a food processor or blender. Make your own pinto beans. You get about 18, I'm not sure why this blender's not, or whatever this thing is. Not sure why you're not going. Why? But basically, for 1 cup of beans, you're gonna get, depending on, because this thing keeps coming out. For 1 cup of beans, you're gonna get about 18 grams of protein. Like, that's awesome. And plant protein is far superior than animal protein. The studies are there, you know, in the blood vessels for disease prevention. I don't care what people say. I don't care what anybody says. But basically, the studies are there. So this is a good way to incorporate more fiber into your diet, more plant-based protein. It'll make your grocery bill cheaper, right? So we're like hitting all the things here. It'll save you money. You'll know what's going into your body. If you haven't made your own refried beans, this is one you really gotta do. Hummus is good too. This one's really good too. You can make tacos and all this stuff. You can make bean tacos. You can use it for a dip, like refried bean dip. But all of this stuff you can freeze and thaw and eat as you please. Like if you make too much, throw that bad boy in the freezer. So I'm going to show you my 2 dips here. We have refried beans. So here's the refried beans. I mean, it doesn't look pretty, but it's refried beans. But yeah, it does. It is for sure pretty. So refried beans, it's pinto beans. You can use 2 cans. Throw in about a 1/4 cup of salsa, right? And like, look at the ingredients. Make sure it's lower sodium if that's something that's important to you. You know, no added sugar. You could also use diced tomatoes. And then throw in some seasoning. You got chili powder, you got smoked paprika, you got onion powder. You could throw in some, I threw in raw onions. I threw in real onions. You could throw in real garlic. And the depth of flavor in here is just beyond me. So smooth. I made it right after the hummus, and then make your own hummus. Right? So 2 cans of chickpeas if you're using cans, or soak 1 cup overnight and cook it. You'll bring it to a boil the next day and then simmer for 40 minutes. Oops. Strain, drain, and then for your hummus, you're going to put chickpeas, 2 cans of chickpeas, or you're going to use that 1 cup cooked. And then when you cook it, ends up being about 2 cans, so it's like 3 cups. Tahini, 2 tablespoons of tahini, the juice of 2 lemons. Throw in 2 to 3 garlic cloves. Zip it around. All right, that's it from me. So my name is Rachel Detroit. I am a life coach. I am a plant-based chef. I teach people how to empower themselves through lifestyle changes. So empowerment through cooking, empowerment through staying sober, empowerment through physical movement, empowerment through changing your job. I love life change, deep life change. All right, my name is Rachel Detroit. I am a life coach. I help people transform their life, because why not? So if you're looking for coaching, I'm looking for you. RachelDetroitCoaching.com/work with me. Check out the Facebook page. If you don't follow me on Instagram, like me on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Facebook, like me on Facebook. Let's see, someone wrote in this one, do you have a favorite bean? My favorite bean is the pinto bean because it's versatile. You can make tacos, you can make spread. And I like how, like, what I feel like is just a lot of fiber. I like the feeling of full, and it's got that full, it's got that full feeling. Hi, Ross, Chef Yin. All right, we got my homies on here. Tiffany's here. Thanks for coming, Lori. Anybody who joined me on Instagram, I'm streaming on Instagram too. Thanks for coming. I'm gonna post this replay every Wednesday. Pretty soon I'm gonna stream on TikTok. Just play. Just have a good freaking time. All right, check out the page, like, comment, share my stuff. Thank you guys. And next week we'll be on next Wednesday, learning how to cook, different household things. Everything is wicked easy. We do it together. All right. I'm Rachel, and I am signing off. Take care. Be well. Thank you for joining. Looks like we're still on everywhere.